In her room, Qin Yuan had managed to push the system off the bed. She could only lament, "How could you do this to the system, you jerk?" Was this enough to satisfy everyone's wishes? The next morning, Qin Yuan was exhausted after training all night with the system. "Where's Meyer? Didn't she sleep next to me last night?" At that moment, she returned to her usual self, pouting as she replied, "I'm right here, you dummy." Qin Yuan stared blankly for a moment. "That's strange. Did you grow larger last night? Now you're tiny again, like a pea." She pouted, her cheeks puffed out like a little hamster. "Isn't it because of you? It's your fault. I had to use so much energy. And about the energy you stole from me, you better give it back." Qin Yuan wore a cheeky grin, both on his face and in his voice. "I earned all that through hard work. If you could do it, then go ahead and drain my energy. The fairy multiverse isn't something to mess with. But if you want to play that game, don't blame me for being ruthless. This time, I'll make sure you really understand just how terrifying women can be." Qin Yuan remained unfazed. "I'm already familiar with the tricks of this game. As the god of strategy, nothing can outsmart me." The fairy multiverse snapped her fingers and a teleportation array appeared. "Let's get started. This time, there will be many more challenges than before." This move surprised him greatly. "Hey, wait a minute." Qin Yuan began to protest verbally. "You can't just throw me into this without giving me time to prepare. You're using official business to settle personal scores." In another world, in a small village, this was the starting village of the new server for Qin Yuan. A group of villagers knelt before a band of female bandits led by a beautiful girl with strong, healthy skin. "You better hurry up and offer us your tribute." An old man who looked like the village chief pleaded, "Wang, you've taken almost everything from our village. We only have a little food left. You have to leave us a way to survive." Wang gave a ridiculous reason. How laughable. "Everything in this world depends on women like us. You useless men are trying to set conditions with us. It's better for you to obediently hand over your tribute than to waste it on a bunch of good-for-nothings like you." Someone, unable to bear the injustice any longer, stood up and said, "Don't think just because you're a woman and physically stronger, you can bully others." She looked at him seriously and replied, "Oh, it seems like this kid has quite the temper." He charged at her with a clenched fist. "Since we're all going to die anyway, I'll fight you." Her quick reflexes caught his punch with ease, and then she countered with a swift move. The young man stumbled, possibly dislocating his jaw, and fell weakly to the ground. The village chief called out urgently, "Xiao Kui, are you okay?" Wang then offered them two choices. "I'll give you one last chance. I'm a bit hungry right now. Either you hand over the tribute immediately, or I'll send you to meet the Grim Reaper. You decide." A few female bandits nearby began to murmur among themselves. "See, men just aren't generous like that. It's true that no matter the situation, it's always up to women to resolve things. Besides giving birth, they're completely useless." Frustrated, the elder can only respond, "Threatening like this will backfire sooner or later, and one day, a daring hero will come to rescue all the men suffering in this world." Wang laughed dismissively. "Stop talking about those ridiculous legends from your village. Since ancient times, women have always been superior to men. Do you really want to compete for power with women? What a joke." Qin Yuan felt like he had just fallen from the sky. He rushed over to Wang and, with a crash, landed directly on him. As dust settled around them, Qin Yuan's voice emerged, "Ouch, my face hurts." He rubbed his jaw, feeling the sting. "Why do you always just drop me like this? Can't you at least let me put on my shirt first?" It was only now that Qin Yuan noticed he was sitting on someone. Realizing he had fallen right onto Wang, he quickly checked, "Hey, are you okay?" "I did mean to do that." Wang's gang finally snapped out of their shock. Wang has been defeated. How is this possible? Could it really be true? Is there a dashing man who fell from the sky? Not good. We need to retreat and report back to the king. Qin Yuan quickly called out, "Wait, you all hear me out first. At least let me take him somewhere." The group only dared to leave a warning, "Just wait for us." The village chief exclaimed in astonishment, "You have defeated a woman. That's right, you must be the dashing man from the sky, the one destined to rescue men in this world." Qin Yuan, filled with questions, turned to the chief and said, "The dashing man from the sky. What are you talking about? I'm not from around here." The chief grew even more confident, saying, "Yes, you were sent here by the heavens. Even though the world has long been accustomed to women surpassing men, there has been a legend passed down in my village. In ancient times, there were two gods, Yin God and Yin God. They were a married couple who maintained the balance of yin and yang in the world. But later, a conflict arose between them. Out of jealousy and hatred, they fought each other. Ultimately, Yang God was defeated. The Yin God then sealed Yang God's power into the bodies of 4 female disciples. Since then, the balance of yin and yang in the world has been disrupted. Without the protection of Yang God, men have lost their strength compared to women and have been oppressed ever since. From the story, Qin Yuan understood, no wonder this village is full of men. But what do you mean by the dashing man from the sky? The village chief was more serious than ever. According to legend, when Yang God was sealed away, he left behind a prophecy that a man would fall from the sky to turn the tide and restore balance between yin and yang in the world. You are that man from above, and having defeated that fierce female pirate, you must surely be the dashing man from the heavens. We have always wished for a world where men and women are equal, without any extra burdens for men. The chief continued, as long as we can live in a place where gender equality exists, that will be paradise. And now that moment has finally arrived. Qin Yuan thumped his chest. Even though I don't fully understand what you're saying, seeing you all in such a pitiful state makes me want to do my part. My main mission is to gather the scattered power of Yang God, right? So, you know what to do next. The chief explained how to proceed. The power of Yang God is inherited from the descendants of the 4 disciples of Yin God. They are also the 4 strongest individuals in the world. If you can defeat them, you'll be able to restore the sealed power of Yang God. Qin Yuan cracked his knuckles. I may not like hitting women, but to restore the world to normal, I can break my principles just this once. The village chief asked, where are those 4 powerful figures now? They all rule different territories, and the most recent is the bandit king, Lu Chunyu. She has many followers and collects tributes from everywhere, causing the locals a lot of suffering. Suddenly, a villager rushed in, panicked. This is bad. The bandit king is bringing her troops here. They're already at the village gate. What? So soon? The village chief cried out. Qin Yuan, you need to run. We'll hold them off for you. You are the last hope for all the men in this world. Even if it means sacrificing this village, we must protect you. Qin Yuan reassured the chief. It's just a bandit king, not a pirate king. What's there to fear? Just take me outside to meet her. Inside the village, a beautiful woman was interrogating one of the villagers. I heard someone here defeated my second sister. If you're smart, bring him to me. The young man being questioned refused to speak. He's our hope. Go ahead and kill me, but I will tell you where our hero is. The king listened with increased interest and said, oh, you got some guts. If you want to die that badly, I'll help you out. After all, this village is filled with useless people, so I might as well grab a few more question. Qin Yuan's voice echoed. Wait a minute, the person you're looking for is me. Lu Chunyu called out, turning around to compliment him. Oh, I didn't expect you to be quite handsome. Not bad at all. I'll take you back to the mountain camp so the sisters can enjoy you slowly. The gang of men behind her complimented her, saying, King, this is the first time you've shown interest in a man. Who made this guy look so good? It's a pity that in a few days, he'll just be another man. Qin Yuan's expression grew serious. It doesn't matter how you plan to deal with me, but the prerequisite is that you can beat me. Seeing Qin Yuan's confidence, Lu Chunyu found it amusing. Do you really think you're worthy of fighting me? Her followers threatened him, saying, is this guy stupid? How can a man fight a woman? He looks decent, but it's a shame his brain seems to be malfunctioning. They couldn't understand where Qin Yuan's confidence came from. If you don't try, how will you know? Are you afraid to accept my challenge? Lu Chunyu faced him with a sneer and said, how ridiculous. Dealing with you only requires one hand. Let's see what you can do. Qin Yuan jumped up and used the skill he had from the beginning of the game, Young Lai's swordsmanship. He moved so quickly that he vanished into the sky, then reappeared in an instant, sliding past Lu Chunyu. The onlooking lackeys gaped in awe. He's so fast. This guy really has some skill. His sword sliced through Lu Chunyu's clothing, leaving a tear, but she remained unhurt. She turned to him, impressed, and said, interesting. It seems like you have a bit of talent. He warned her, don't be stubborn. Just now, I used my internal energy with that sword, and the icy energy has already entered your body. Lu Chunyu proudly held up the broken sword, asking, sword, are you talking about this? Qin Yuan looked at the weapon in disbelief. What? How is that possible? Lu Chunyu explained a universal rule of this world. In this world, men cannot harm women. It's the will of heaven. No matter how fast your sword is, you won't be able to injure me at all. Next, it seemed like it was my turn. Uchiha Lu Chunyu unleashed her Chidori technique as her opening move. In the blink of an eye, she struck Qin Yuan, sending him flying like a bird, crashing into a tree behind him. Lu Chunyu pulled her hand back and said, this is the distance between us. As I mentioned before, you belong to me now. Qin Yuan sat up, unwilling to accept his fate. I won't accept this. Give me 3 days. If I can't defeat you, then I will willingly follow your wishes. She wasn't someone to be easily fooled. What do you have that makes you think you can negotiate with me? In that critical moment, the village chief stepped in. Wait a minute. We are willing to be bargaining chips for young Master Qin. If he loses again in 3 days, everyone in our village will serve you for life without complaint. It's better than being bullied constantly. We believe in the heavenly descent dashing man. Yes, we believe in the heavenly descent dashing man. Lu Chun-yu looked at the villagers, her expression serious as she thought deeply. Then she made her decision. I'll give you 3 days. 3 days from now, I'll be at the mountain camp waiting for you to challenge me. If you dare to play tricks on me, I will bury this entire village along with you. A moment later, Qin Yuan felt a bit conflicted. I'm sorry, I underestimated my opponent. I didn't think there'd be such a difference in strength between men and women. He realized something in his mind. Wait, maybe it's not just about the difference in strength, but a rule. No matter how strong someone is, they can't harm a woman. The village chief remained firm. No problem. Young Master Qin, could you share how you plan to defeat that powerful warrior in 3 days? He awkwardly smiled. I was just improvising earlier, and honestly, I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it. Despite that bold shout before, Qin Yuan felt uncertain. The villagers looked shocked. So we might all be in trouble together? This is terrible. Don't say things like that. I'm starting to feel scared. Is it too late for us to escape? Feeling helpless, Qin Yuan decided to seek information from the village chief. Please don't panic, everyone. There may still be a way out of this. Chief, could you tell me what makes that powerful warrior special? The village chief began to reminisce. What drawbacks? She seems nice on the outside. Last time she came to rob the village, she accidentally fell hard. She was so embarrassed that she just went straight home, leaving us unharmed. Qin Yuan was deep in thought. So this person actually has a different side. Wait, if she has a good side. His eyes lit up with a bright idea. Everyone, I think I've come up with a great plan, but I need your help to make it happen. 2 days later, in Lu Chun-yu's mountain hideout, she was soaking in a wooden tub. Oh, what a shapely figure she had. In her mind, she was imagining Qin Yuan saying, from now on, I'm yours. Just thinking about it made her cheeks flush. She wondered, how strange, why am I having these kinds of thoughts? But ever since I left, why does this image keep popping up in my mind? Suddenly, Wang burst in. Report, Master. The scout has returned with news. The Runan village seems to be up to something. Lu Chun-yu quickly got out of the bathtub and covered herself with a towel. Oh, that scoundrel still hasn't run away. Wang continued reporting. There's a signal from the sisters, so they definitely can't escape. But there are often strange cries from men in the village. It's really weird, and I'm scared. Lu Chun-yu reassured her. Come on, why are you being so timid now? I told you last time you fainted because you accidentally hit your head on the ground, not because that man defeated you. Besides, I'm one of the 4 great powerhouses in the world. How could a weakling like him be a match for me? Unfortunately, as she moved, her towel slipped off. She shrieked, ah, caught naked in front of her subordinate. Lu Chun-yu quickly covered herself again. Don't look, get out now. Her subordinate obeyed and hurried to bring the brothers back to Ruman village. The cries of men echoed throughout the village. A group of strong men lay on the ground, exhausted and groaning. Wow, that was really incredible, so fast. Is this the power of the heavenly descent dashing man? Qin Yuan stood to the side, drenched in sweat. Thank you, everyone. I've successfully achieved a great milestone. The next morning, Lu Chun-yu was sleeping when she was jolted awake by the sound of a gong. So noisy. She rumbled as she kicked the door open and rushed outside. Who is disturbing my sleep so early in the morning? It turned out to be Qin Yuan banging the gong. Don't sleep anymore, wake up everyone. Today is the day I, Qin Yuan, defeat your bandit king. People from the mountain camp started to appear. Isn't that the pretty boy from before? Wow, he's even more handsome than the dream guy I imagined. Lu Chun-yu shot him a glare filled with menace. So early and someone's come knocking on my door. Are you looking to get yourself killed? Without wasting any time, Qin Yuan drew his sword. If that's the case, I'm sorry. She looked at him mockingly. Is that your weapon? It seems a bit short. Qin Yuan smirked, starting a war of words. The length of a weapon doesn't matter. What's more important is skill, speed, and hardness. His followers were left speechless. I really want to see how powerful his little knife is. It's fine. That's my skill. A short knife can become a long knife. You should probably call it a short sword instead. Lu Chun-yu reminded him, you should know that in this world, a man cannot harm a woman, regardless of what weapon he holds. Qin Yuan stepped forward and said, just wait and see. He swiftly struck Lu Chun-yu 7 times. She glanced at him with disdain and replied, I admit your speed is impressive, but it doesn't matter. You can't hurt me. Qin Yuan turned and said, who said I wanted to hurt you? Then he snapped his fingers and the outer layer of her clothing shattered, accompanied by a sound of surprise. Lu Chun-yu looked at Qin Yuan, annoyed. What kind of technique was that? He replied with satisfaction. This is a technique I mastered through constant training. It's called Shanji Ren Yi knife technique. And this knife was traded from a merchant in town. It's called the exploding clothes knife. System notification. Exploding closed knife, rank C, has no ability to inflict damage on living beings, but it can cause a lot of damage to any target with clothing attributes. The villagers were cheering him on. Go for it, we believe in you. Be careful, don't let us down. The village chief echoed their sentiments, saying, Qin Yuan, you must win. Right now, you carry the responsibility of representing the whole village. I understand. Now, I am the last hope of the village. The chief continued passionately. The main reason is that you are holding the only clothes left to the village. To master this sword technique, the villagers have supported me a lot. Lu Chun Yu remained confident, saying, even if you can blow my clothes away, what does that matter? You still can't defeat me. He had played his trump card. But all your subordinates are watching you in your bare state and must feel embarrassed. As the leader, don't you feel humiliated? She blushed with anger and swung a punch at him. Shut up, I'll kill you. But Qin Yuan was already at full speed. How could she possibly hit him? Instead, she ended up getting hit back on her behind. The little subordinates whispered among themselves. I didn't think the boss could pull off that look. Was the tough girl image just an act? Turns out she has such great skin, and she said she never takes care of herself. Lu Chun Yu felt embarrassed and scolded her underlings. You aren't allowed to look. Qin Yuan threatened as he spoke up. Next hit, I'll make sure you're left without a stitch on. She was truly angry now. You've pushed me this far, just go die. The underlings gasped in amazement. This was the boss's ultimate technique. They never expected her to use it against him. A dragon formed in the air, charging directly at Qin Yuan. Boom, boom, boom. Dust and sparks flew everywhere. Qin Yuan slowly emerged from the chaos, his voice cutting through. What a fierce flame. It's too bad my diamond invincible body has pretty good defense. He stood there unharmed. Lu Chun Yu was terrified, unable to believe her eyes. How can there be a man who can withstand my crimson blazing dragon head? Qin Yuan wouldn't let her calm down. You've left an opening. Take this. Bai Rai Yi Shan. Her outer clothes ripped apart, fluttering to the ground along with her frantic scream. The younger brothers watching turned red with excitement, saying, our leader can be such a mess. She's really in a tough spot. Because of their teasing remarks, Lu Chun Yu felt embarrassed and didn't know what to say. Finally, she turned and ran away, leaving everyone stunned. She exclaimed, I'm not playing with you guys anymore. Qin Yuan, recovering from the shock, quickly chased after her. Hey, accept defeat. Don't run away. With a loud crash, his face made intimate contact with the door. Annoyed, he rubbed his nose and thought to himself, if she can't win, she just cries. Is she really that childish? Erdo Wang's voice rang out behind him. Did you make our bandit king cry? A group of female bandits looked at him with wide eyes. We're done for. We defeated their leader. Are they going to kill us to keep us quiet? Suddenly, the whole group dropped to their knees, pleading our leader is very sensitive. Please go comfort her. Just get her to calm down, and we'll agree to anything you ask. With no other choice, he reluctantly agreed, fine, I'll go check on her. Indeed, no matter how strong she seemed, in the end, she was still a girl. Qin Yuan pushed the door open and walked in. Miss Lu, I'm coming in. Lu Chun Yu, wrapped up tightly in her blankets, replied, get out, I don't want to see you. Qin Yuan stepped closer, teasing her. You're all grown up, why are you hiding under the blanket? Let's talk. She never budged from her spot. Qin Yuan smiled brightly and pulled the blanket away, saying, come out here. Lu Chun Yu was stunning, perfectly shaped, lying in bed as if waiting for Qin Yuan. Like the admin, he couldn't take his eyes off her. Haven't you changed yet? Inside, he was practically drooling, realizing just how amazing her figure was. Don't look, she shouted, kicking him in the process. Qin Yuan was taken aback. She sat up, holding a pillow to cover herself, with tears in her eyes. Are you satisfied now? You've embarrassed me in front of so many of my subordinates. Qin Yuan began to comfort her, leading her into his trap. No, I don't see anything to be ashamed of. With a body like that, you should be proud of yourself. Lu Chun Yu felt a bit shaken. Stop with those sweet words. He took the opportunity to get closer, saying, if you don't believe me, I'll show you. Qin Yuan always started his demonstrations this way, using a kiss to immobilize his opponent. Lu Chun Yu was stunned and couldn't resist, but she took the chance to turn the tables. You better be honest with me. She looked down at Qin Yuan with pride. This time, I'll admit you won. I lost. Now tell me, what's your condition? He got straight to the point. I hope to unlock the sealed powers of men. Since you guard one of the 4 seals, you must know how to do it. Hearing about the seals made her blush a little. So you really are the legendary dashing man, but the method you used to win against me might not work for the other 3. He began to taunt her. How do you know I don't have another plan? Or do you just not want to admit that you lost to me? Lu Chun Yu replied confidently, those seals exist within us. To break the seal, you need to. Qin Yuan was curious. Need to what? Her embarrassment grew as she spoke. Use masculinity to break the seal. As long as your masculinity can make me bleed, the seal will be released. Hearing her speak, he felt even more confused. But before breaking the seal, a man fundamentally cannot harm a woman. I'm sure there's no way I can make you bleed. Lu Chun-yu explained to him. While a man couldn't harm a woman, the need to carry on the family line was still an exception. It involved more than just blood. Qin Yuan understood, but still had more questions. That may be the case, but she immediately interrupted him, saying she wanted to speak first. I have no intentions towards you. I promised you, and I'm just fulfilling that promise. Qin Yuan replied, Okay, let's get started. I understand. Next, I'll teach you how to do it. Caught up in her pride, she refused his help. No need, don't get me wrong. Even now, I am the one in charge. Just then, the door unexpectedly creaked open and some curious little brothers peeked inside. What are they doing? Why does he suddenly have a long tail in front of him? You fools, that's not a tail. Half an hour later, the people standing outside discussing what they had seen said, What the heck are they doing? It seems like the boss is really anxious, like he's looking for something. Should we go in and help them? Qin Yuan was at his wit's end, so he decided to speak up first. Do you really know how to do this? I see you can't even find the entrance. Lu Chun-yu felt hit where to hurt and stammered, Don't talk nonsense, I'm almost there. This time, I absolutely will succeed. A sound erupted as the excess from Qin Yuan filled in what was lacking from her. A divine light shot upward from where the two stood, illuminating the entire room. The other followers looked up at the beam of light with curiosity and asked, What is that? Did that man make it? In the village of Runan, the light from Qin Yuan shot straight into the sky, clear as day. The village chief rejoiced, shouting, That light seems to mean he succeeded. The first seal has been broken. The villagers, dressed in traditional attire, hugged each other joyfully, saying, He's really a dashing man, just like someone falling from the sky. Our clothes won't go to waste. Meanwhile, in another location, a powerful dragon blade shivered. A woman wielding the blade looked up at the sky and scolded, That light? Lu Chun-yu is so useless. Has her seal really been broken? She stood with a heroic posture, smirking, but it's all right. It's been a long time since I met someone so oblivious to the world, willing to offer up my sacred blade. The sky changed from dawn to dusk so quickly. The crowd that had been secretly watching had done so from morning until night. How could that man still use that thing like that? Was it really comfortable from morning till night? I want to see this hot scene. It must be exciting, haha. Lu Chun-yu was now soaked in sweat and dozed off at some point. Qin Yuan whispered, Doing this for the first time is a bit challenging. Let's take a break. He looked over at her with satisfaction. Indeed, the stronger the woman, the more power I can absorb. I shouldn't delay. I need to quickly practice the unlimited charming technique to absorb this power. Qin Yuan began to focus his energy. The powers surrounded him like flames. As he opened his eyes, he found himself in a different world. What is this strange place? Slowly, he noticed a woman. His eyes were immediately drawn to an incredibly sexy woman with stunning curves and flawless skin, bound by iron chains. A metal chain on a post suddenly broke apart, and then countless other chains followed suit. The woman began to fall. Qin Yuan quickly reached out and caught her, asking gently, Are you okay? The girl opened her eyes and immediately spoke, It's you. I knew we would meet again someday. He was taken aback and replied, Miss, I think you're mistaken. We've never met before. I don't even know where this place is. The woman quickly stood up. I'm sorry. You just look a lot like an old friend of mine, but maybe this is a fated meeting. So what? Qin Yuan, confused, asked, What are you talking about? I don't understand at all. She looked at the stone pillar and asked him, Since you can enter the seal's domain, it means you've broken the first seal set by the Yin God, right? Qin Yuan was surprised and asked, How do you know? She began to tell a story. From ancient times, after the Yang God was sealed away, the balance of yin and yang in the world was disrupted. The Yin God, feeling regretful and wanting to save everyone, left behind a fragment of his soul, waiting for a future man who could break the seal and help him. He realized, So you are the Yin God. I'm just a piece of the Yin God's soul, so I can't call myself the Yin God. You can call me a you. With a crack, one of the chains on her leg broke in half. He asked a you with concern, Why do you have these chains on your wrists and ankles? These 4 chains represent 4 seals. Now that one seal has been lifted, the chain has shattered. As long as all 4 seals are removed, I can break the power of the Yang God's seal and restore the balance of yin and yang in this world, helping it return to its original path. Qin Yuan, looking confused, asked, I don't know exactly what's going on, but I promise you, I will break all the seals. However, a Yu looked at him suspiciously and asked, Why do you say that? Qin Yuan blushed and turned away. Could you put some clothes on? Oh wow, Qin Yuan is feeling shy this time. Yu, however, was not like him. It's fine. Anyway, there's no one else here. Besides, if I put on clothes, I won't be able to help you. Qin Yuan questioned her words. If you can't help me, what can you do for me? A Yu nudged Qin Yuan with her arm. Suddenly, a stream of blue energy flowed into his body. You seem to be cultivating a technique that balances yin and yang. However, the yin and yang energy in this world is unbalanced, so you can't absorb all the yin energy. Am I wrong? Recognizing her as a powerful being, he asked for a solution. That's true. What should I do? A Yu began to explain, as a part of the Yin God's soul, I know of a secret dual cultivation technique passed down by great beings. I can absorb all the yin energy. Qin Yuan, a bit concerned for her, said, I see. But Yu, you're weak. Can you handle this? She gave him an unexpected joy. This place is a sealed area, a fantasy created by the Yin God. Here, I can do many things that I can't do outside. For example, the art of the stars arching the moon, where you can triple the efficiency of dual cultivation. Feeling excited, he said, that sounds great, but 3 times isn't enough. You're underestimating yourself. Plus, 3 times is still too slow. What if we go faster? She immediately replied, of course I can do that. For this, I will listen to you. Look behind you. Turn around and look behind. Then, a long line of clones of a Yu extended endlessly. He turned his head and said, this time it's exhausting. Having to go this far is really tough. In reality, he kept mumbling, switch players. Number 7, it's your turn now. Number 18, focus and don't forget about number 24. Your little hands are just too small to be reliable. The system announced unlimited charming technique has leveled up to level 6, granting an additional charm attribute of 180. Additional skill, dual cultivate technique. This allows you to practice with the opposite gender, enhancing the abilities of both. The room where Qin Yuan was located emitted a bright light. The bandits around him huddled together, saying, what's that light in that room? It seems like that guy is doing something. His hands glowed as he pushed the door open and declared, looks like there are plenty of people here. Qin Yuan stepped out wearing only a towel, his whole body glowing. All right, ladies, who wants to try? Suddenly, the towel fell, revealing his full body. He enchantingly continued, want to taste what it's like to be a woman. The group of female bandits froze for 5 seconds, thinking, what does it mean to have a taste of being a woman? I've never heard this before. Qin Yuan thought to himself, these women must not have had much contact with men and are a bit naive. He cheerfully called out, what I mean is, I can be like you, just like your bandit king. Erdo Wang stepped forward, eager to try, saying, I don't know what's going on, but I want to be first. Let me try first. Someone in the back was unhappy with this and shouted, wait, why should it be you first? Erdo Wang threatened, oh, I see you're not satisfied with me, huh? Do you want to compete? Just know I'm not afraid of you. Qin Yuan intervened to calm everyone down. Everyone, please relax, no fighting. There's enough for everyone. Erdo Wang, you take charge and let the rest form groups of 3. They can take turns coming into my room. Erdo Wang sneered, who do you think you are? We only take orders from the Bandit King. You're just a man, and you think you can boss us around? The group of subordinates behind her started laughing loudly. What? Why are you listening to him? The crowd began to feel annoyed with her. One of them spoke up, Erdo Wang, if you don't want to, let us go first. The Bandit King has been defeated by him, and he's the Bandit King now. What's wrong with listening to him? She pouted and turned away. At the door, she leaned in close to Qin Yuan and whispered, let me see what you can do. 1 against 3? Qin Yuan replied somewhat slyly, won't be long, you'll find out soon enough. After 90 minutes of official competition plus 5 minutes of extra time, Qin Yuan emerged victorious in all 3 matches on the black grass fields. He was drenched in sweat but wore a confident smile as he asked, so how about that? Feeling impressed now? Erdo Wang, exhausted, surrendered. I'm sorry, I really didn't understand before. An hour later, the first 3 people helped each other out of the room, continually marveling. That was amazing. I feel like I've really lived my life now. I just didn't have any experience before. The people waiting in line grew restless at the sight. Qin Yuan, sitting by the window, began to recruit for dual cultivation, saying the night is still long. Is the next group ready yet? At that moment, the women looked at him like he was a sparkling treasure. You can't keep competing. Don't take my turn. It's my turn. Let me go. He was slightly taken aback. It seemed like it was going to be a sleepless night. The next morning, Lu Chun-yu stretched and woke up, causing her 2 peaches to shake continuously. As she stepped outside, she looked around and said, oh, it seems I've accidentally overslept until morning. Upon seeing the scene in the yard, she immediately woke up, exclaiming, what? What happened here? What's going on? Seeing her subordinates sprawled all over the ground, she lamented, and Qin Yuan approached to explain, I'm sorry. I saw you sleeping so peacefully yesterday that I didn't want to wake you up. Then, thinking of something, she blushed and asked, could it be that you did this with all of them? He began to perform his Oscar-winning act once more, saying, I had no choice. They were too enthusiastic, and I couldn't refuse. Moreover, an enjoyable experience like this, you wouldn't want to miss out on it either, right? You. Seeing Qin Yuan teasing about yesterday's events, Lu Chunyu felt stuck for words. She decided to steer the conversation in a different direction. Let's not talk about that for now. What are your plans next? He replied immediately, Of course, I want to break the 3 remaining seals and restore the balance of yin and yang in this world. Chunyu shyly said, If that's the case, then I want to go with you. Qin Yuan was surprised and repeated, Huh? Why do you want to come with me? She, feeling flustered, answered, I've lost you, so I have no face to continue staying here. Besides, I want to witness you breaking the last 3 seals with my own eyes. Women really can be their own worst enemies, deceiving themselves even when they're already addicted. Erdo Wang, lying below, worriedly asked, Bandit King, if you leave, what will we do? The other little brothers around chimed in, That's right, we don't want to continue being bandits anymore. Are we really going to be abandoned by our leader? But we don't know any other way to make a living. Qin Yuan suddenly had an idea. Don't worry, everyone. I know a beautiful place where you can live peacefully. After a while, in the host domain space, the sewing machine Qin Yuan didn't spare any of the girls. His harem just kept growing. Young Su Jang looked ahead with dissatisfaction. Why didn't that guy bring so many people along? Moding Shuang reassured her. It's fine. The more people, the livelier it gets here. The group in the mountain camp officially became Qin Yuan's harem. They paired off and explored the surroundings. Is this really a paradise? It's so beautiful. Yes, it seems that guy wasn't lying to us after all. Moding Shuang began to gather the newcomers. Everyone welcome. You could live comfortably here without worrying about food and clothing. These people were seasoned and skeptical. Is there really such a good deal in the world? It doesn't seem that simple to me. That's right, they probably have conditions to offer. Moding Shuang licked her fingers playfully as she looked at the group. That's right. I will teach you how to please the master of this place. Young Su Han heard this and her face softened a bit. Senior Marshal Sister, do you really want to do that? Absolutely. The next time Qin Yuan comes back, we need to surprise him. With this plan, Qin Yuan would surely be exhausted by the time he returned, surrounded by all these sexy girls. On a rainy and windy day, a crowd was waiting in line outside the gate of a city. Qin Yuan was among them. He asked Lu Chunyu, who stood beside him, for news. You mean the guardian of the second seal in Wu Yan City, right? She replied coolly, That's correct. Not only that, she's also the lord of Wu Yan City, known as Sai Yi Dao. Sai Yi Dao, that name sounds quite impressive. But since you're all guardians of the seal, why not introduce me right away? It would be better, right? It's not that simple. The 4 of us guardians have a pretty ordinary relationship. Besides, Sai Yi Dao has a fiery temper and is arrogant. We hardly have any contact. Lu Chunyu recalled a scene from the past. Ha! Did I make some mistake? Who do you little punks think you are to be on the same level as me? Ridiculous. Qin Yuan glanced at her teasingly. A fiery temper, huh? Could it be that yours is even worse? I'll kill you. At that moment, a guard stopped an old man, saying, Move along, don't waste time. The old man fell to the ground, pleading, I don't have much money left. Stop babbling, I can't even pay a single coin to enter the city. Just hurry up and go away. Qin Yuan approached the old man and asked, Are you okay, sir? Then he scolded the guard, What are you doing? Are you really going to bully an old man? Besides, how can there be a rule that requires citizens to pay a toll just to enter the city? She pointed to a notice behind her. Men have to pay 10 coins to enter, while women can enter for free. This has been the rule for a long time. The female guard then started paying attention to Qin Yuan. However, you look pretty handsome. If you can make me a little happy, I might give you a discount. Okay, Qin Yuan immediately replied, Sure, and then used his skill, eyes as mesmerizing as silk. Let me make you feel a bit happier. The female guard was instantly charmed, frozen for 5 seconds. Then she became Qin Yuan's obedient servant. Please give me an order, master. Apologize to that old man right now. She seemed to transform into a different person as she approached and said, I'm sorry, it was my fault. The old man, confused, replied, It's all right. Qin Yuan then issued a command to please the readers, saying, Showing your sincerity. When you apologize, you must take off your armor, which is only natural. Follow the order. She immediately complied, removed her clothes, and sincerely bowed her head to apologize. The old man was so moved that he said, I'm over 70 this year. This is the first time I've witnessed something like this. Even for me, this lifetime has been worth it. Lu Chunyu urged, Don't make it any bigger than it needs to be. Let's head into the city quickly. Qin Yuan responded, Got it. After all, she was bullying someone else, right? The group continued on, each person making their way into the city. The old man called out to Qin Yuan, "Young man, please stop for a moment. Thank you for your help. I would like to offer you a small token of appreciation. I hope you will accept it." He politely declined. "No need, no need. Helping others brings joy." The old man's demeanor shifted, becoming more profound. He pulled out several ancient texts. "These are the tomes I've collected from my travels. You can choose one." He reluctantly asked, "What kind of secret texts are these?" "To be honest with you, when I was younger, I was a coward. These are just the tricks I used back then." Let me explain what coward means. Here, it refers to conning older women. In Japan, it describes the handsome guys who serve drinks and charm the ladies at bars and clubs. Qin Yuan randomly picked a book and said, "Well, I won't hold back any longer. Old man, we still have things to do, so goodbye for now." The old man smiled as he left, adding, "Good people will be rewarded." "Goodbye, young man." Lu Chunyu watched the old man walk away and curiously asked, "Coward, what kind of profession is that? I've never heard of it before." He could only laugh bitterly and said, "Coward, of course, refers to raising livestock. Let's not talk about this anymore. We traveled a long way and are facing a heavy rain. We should find an inn to clean up and rest." She sighed and replied, "That might not be easy." The two of them walked to a nearby inn. There was a sign on the door that read, "No pets or men allowed in this hotel." The two of them sighed in frustration, lamenting, "Look at this, it's really true. It's just too much. Why is it that men aren't allowed to stay?" The inn's door swung open and a beautiful woman stepped out. "I'm sorry, but we don't allow men to stay here. After all, we can't rent a room if there's a man sleeping in it." The innkeeper noticed Qin Yuan and added, "But this young man, looking the way he does, he can stay here tonight. I won't mind." Lu Chunyu grabbed Qin Yuan and pulled him away in shock. "That's all right, we'll find somewhere else to stay." The innkeeper called after them. "It's no use. There are no inns in Wuyan City that will accept men. If you change your mind, you're always welcome to come back and find me." An hour later, Lu Chunyu fumed, "This is ridiculous. Why is the female superiority here so strong that no inns will accept men?" One of the experts teased Qin Yuan, poking fun at her. "You're really not embarrassed to criticize others, are you?" She got even angrier, snapping, "Enough of the nonsense." He smiled and suggested another option, reminding her that inns aren't the only places to bathe and rest. Qin Yuan pointed ahead and said, "Look over there, that's the place. That area is Yu Chang." In the midst of the windy rain, a public bathhouse came into view for the two of them. As Lu Chunyu walked in with Qin Yuan, she exclaimed, "That's right. Yu Chang is the perfect place to both bathe and get some sleep, isn't it?" The female receptionist stepped out as usual, bowed to the two, and welcomed them. She looked surprised and asked, "Oh, you're bringing a man with you. Is that allowed?" "Men aren't usually accepted here." With a friendly smile, she continued to Lu Chunyu, explaining that there weren't any specific rules against it. However, she warned that the bathing area was mostly for strong women, and if a man entered, he could end up in trouble. If anything happened, Yu Chang wouldn't take responsibility. Qin Yuan shrugged it off. "It's fine. No matter what happens, we'll take responsibility for it." He quietly celebrated in his mind, realizing that this place in the dungeon was indeed very dangerous for men, but it fit perfectly with his unique situation. Inside Yu Chang, there were many girls bathing. Among them, a woman with golden eyes and voluminous silver hair stood out the most. Qin Yuan walked in singing, pushing the door open. "I like to shower, keep my body clean." "Oh yeah." The group of women inside stirred with excitement. "Is that a man? How dare a man come in here?" "Exactly, he looks pretty good too." He made an excuse and replied, "The receptionist had mentioned this is a mixed bath for both men and women." "I'm not bothering any of you, am I?" The silver-haired woman sitting alone spoke up. "How interesting. I never expected to see a man come in here on his own. I am the owner of Yu Chang, Su Jang. Who are you?" Qin Yuan looked at her for a moment, and Su Jang returned his gaze. Then Qin Yuan playfully said, "Guess." Su Jang furrowed her brows angrily and shouted, "Kid, just guess." As he walked toward the hot tub, he bragged, "Since there's no sign saying men can't come in, I just want to take a bath. So who I am doesn't really matter." Seeing this, Su Jang warned him, "I advise you to go back outside. This hot tub is specifically for me to practice my fire system skill. The water temperature will keep rising. With your weak little body, you won't be able to handle it." Seeing this, Qin Yuan suggested, "How about we make a bet? Let's see who can last the longest. The last person remaining in the bathtub wins." Su Jang raised an eyebrow in disdain. "A bet? What makes you think you're worthy of betting against me? Can't you even give me what I want?" He used his usual tactic. "I'll wager my own self. If I lose, I'll sign a contract to sell myself to you and spend my life following your orders. What do you think?" Su Jang accepted the challenge. "Oh, among men, you are quite special. Pass the word down to raise the water temperature. I need to show this boy just how big the gap is between men and women." "Yes, ma'am." The waitress acknowledged the order. The onlookers teased Qin Yuan. You should just admit defeat early. We won't take responsibility for you passing out from the heat. He called for a higher temperature. Hey, this water is way too cold. If we're bathing, hot water is definitely more comfortable. Even though I can't directly compete with women, hot water isn't a problem for me. 10 minutes later, the two people sat across from each other, not saying a word. Qin Yuan was drenched in sweat, silently cursing in his mind. This is ridiculous, really unexpected. It's way too hot. Can any women in the world handle this level of heat? They must be some sort of monsters. The group of women nearby began to discuss among themselves. We could feel the heat radiating from the hot tub just by standing here. This guy can really take it. Exactly. At this point, we're all just trying to hold on. It looks like he's got some skills. Su Jang was also surprised, thinking to himself, as a man, he's impressive already. Too bad. Compared to me, Su Jang, he's nothing. Qin Yuan refused to back down. He gritted his teeth, thinking in his head, is that so? I'd like to say that the water here seems barely warm. No wonder no guy wants to come here. We don't like soaking in cold water like this. Su Jang, of course, didn't believe him. You're still holding up? All right, let's turn up the heat. If I don't roast you into well-done meat today, I, Su Jang, will have wasted all my years in Wu Yan City. 20 minutes later, the people standing outside couldn't take it anymore. It's hot, way too hot. Just standing next to the hot tub, it's unbearable. Su Jang scolded the followers behind him. Just so embarrassing. I've been in Wu Yan City for so many years, spent so much money, raised so many people, and it turns out they're all useless. The group behind him had collapsed, gasping for breath. They began to retreat. I'm sorry, we really can't take it anymore. At this point, Su Jang was starting to feel the pressure. To be honest, even my Yan Gong struggles with such high temperatures. How can this man still endure it? When she glanced at Qin Yuan, she realized something. Wait a minute, this really is a powerful energy technique. This seems to be why Qin Yuan can hold on. On Qin Yuan's side, he mockingly said, looks like compared to my radiant snow technique, your skill doesn't stand a chance. This is the technique Yun Su Han taught me to counter poison. Out of pride, Su Jang didn't want to lose. He retorted, in all of Wu Yan City, aside from the city lord, I'm the strongest. How could I lose to a lowly man like you? Today, I'll play with you to the end. The followers nearby urged her on. Big sister, don't push yourself anymore. That's right, you've never tried such high temperatures before. Your pride won't allow it. Stop talking nonsense, I can't lose to a man. Before she could finish her sentence, she collapsed from the heat shock. Qin Yuan stood up to catch her. It would be such a shame if such a beautiful woman was cooked alive. Su Jang's henchman quickly intervened. You can't touch her. Put our big sister down. What did you do to her? Qin Yuan scolded them harshly. Shut up. You guys are so annoying, making me want to scream. Right now, your boss is in danger. Quickly find a cellar or a cold room. I can still help you save her. The system notification chimed in, awarding him 120 accumulated points. After being scolded, the two were taken aback and quickly responded, Okay. Why is he being so aggressive? And why do I feel like I should listen to him? Qin Yuan quickly followed the directions. This path led to a frozen chamber. He was only thinking, please, save Madame Jiang. He reassured those who accompanied him. Don't worry, you all stay outside and don't come in. In an hour, if I can't bring back your sister in one piece, you can do whatever you want with me. In the room filled with countless ice blocks, there was a bed made of ice, looking like something out of Frozen. Su Jang lay on the bed, breathing heavily, sweat pouring down her face. She suddenly woke up, panic filling her as she covered her body. What do you want to do? Qin Yuan calmly explained, Of course, I'm here to save you. I will use my internal energy to extinguish the evil fire in you. Su Jang tiredly looked down, her voice weak. How do you plan to save me? Then she suddenly refused. No, I'd rather die. Qin Yuan quickly covered her mouth, his expression serious as he commanded. Your life doesn't belong to just you. The women outside are all worried about your safety. You can't just think about dying at the slightest provocation. Are you even a woman? Su Jang didn't quite understand why, but she reluctantly agreed. In her heart, she vaguely thought, I get it now. It's strange. Why am I listening to a man? He suddenly noticed the jars nearby and asked, What's in those jars? She hesitated before answering, I like drinking cow's milk, so I stored some in the freezer. He chuckled lightly. Well, if you like it, just drink it freely. Why hide it? She flinched and quickly clarified. After all, my boss is Bai Jin Han. If he finds out I enjoy cow's milk, it would be so embarrassing. Qin Yuan picked up a bottle. An idea crossed his mind that these chilled liquids might help expel the evil fire from her body. Without hesitation, he opened the cap and gulped down half the bottle. Su Jang cried out in distress. My milk? My cow's milk. Suddenly, Qin Yuan surprised her by kissing her. Su Jang's eyes widened in shock. She wanted to resist, but the more she struggled, the more she sank into it. A strange sensation overwhelmed her, leaving her flustered. When the kiss ended, she quickly stepped back, breathing heavily as she asked, "What? What are you doing?" Her eyes suddenly caught sight of Qin Yuan's sword drawn from its sheath. Qin Yuan started to play it cool, trying to reassure her, "Don't worry, that's my magical weapon. Soon, all the evil energy and toxins in your body will be expelled by this magical weapon." He couldn't help but exclaim. The twin cultivation method was truly beneficial. This woman's skills had improved significantly. A surge of vital energy flowed into his body, and he absorbed it all without hesitation. "I can feel it now." He closed his eyes to sense the vital energy. The system announced the comprehension of a technique, Yan Yan Gong. Qin Yuan opened his eyes and fiery vital energy expanded around him. A stats panel appeared, Yan Yan Gong, level 1, bonus attributes, spirit plus 20 bonus skills. Flame affinity, effect allows the user to infuse fire attributes into their body or weapons. Character card unlocked, Su Jang 4 stars, reward. Fire attribute proficiency increased by 30%. Meanwhile, Su Jang's female subordinates outside were filled with worry. "I wonder how the big sister is. She won't be in trouble, right? I think I heard some strange sounds just now." Suddenly, the ice cave door swung open, releasing a wave of cold air. "Hey, you all are here? Sorry to keep you waiting." The person who opened the door was Qin Yuan. As he stepped out, the group of women gathered around him. "Where's our big sister? What did you do to her? Tell us now." "Calm down." Su Jang stepped out from the ice cave looking tired. "He was the one who saved me." She sat down in her chair and announced the results of the recent match. "The truth is, I lost this bet. I admit my defeat." The crowd started to buzz again. "This is unbelievable. The boss lost. This isn't someone who would ever accept losing. Isn't she going to do whatever it takes to win?" Feeling cornered by her subordinates' comments, she grew angry. "If you keep talking nonsense, do you want me to lock you all in the basement for a little self-reflection?" She called Qin Yuan over and returned to the main topic. "I, Su Jang, have a decent reputation in Wu Yan City. You can ask me anything you need." Qin Yuan didn't hesitate to dive right in. "I heard the city lord of Wu Yan City is Yi Dao. What do I need to do to challenge her?" The people around them looked down on him. "Challenge Yi Dao. Are you dreaming? You, a man, actually dare to challenge the city lord. Now that's just delusional." Su Jang responded to him. "Even though I don't know why you want to court disaster, if you're determined, I will provide you with an opportunity to challenge the city lord." She introduced the method briefly. Wujian City is a place where the strong are highly regarded. Every year, they hold a martial arts competition. The winner gets the chance to challenge the city lord. Yi Dao is something of a legend. Ever since she successfully challenged the city lord at just 14 years old, she hasn't lost a single match in the past 10 years. Qin Yuan became interested. "When is this competition held?" Su Jang continued, "That's why I said it's perfect timing. The next competition will be held in 3 days. Plus, I will be participating." The group of younger members began to whisper, but the big sis has participated for 3 years now. "That's right. Even though she always makes it to the finals, she gets easily defeated." Su Jang looked embarrassed and said, "You guys be quiet. I was just a bit careless and couldn't dodge in time." Qin Yuan asked in surprise, "Su Jang, you faced Yi Dao. Do you know her strength? Is she really that tough?" As she took off her shirt, she said, "She's called Yi Dao because she wins all of her battles with just one strike without needing to swing her blade a second time." Su Jang revealed her bare back, showing 3 long scars each time. "I was taken down by a single blow." She glanced at him, feeling sad. "It's so ugly. These 3 scars are proof of my humiliation." Qin Yuan, the seamster, stepped forward to comfort her. "Come on, having a few scars on your back is actually pretty cool." She felt a stir of emotion, but her pride wouldn't allow it. "Who told you to touch my scars? Don't flatter me like that." Qin Yuan appreciated her honesty. "Anyway, thanks for the information. I'm just sharing my thoughts, not trying to repay a debt. So, what do you want?" He pondered for a moment. "Well, I have a small request. I'm afraid you might not agree to it." Su Jang, with a trustworthy demeanor, replied, "When out in the world, keeping your word is crucial. Just say it. As long as I can do it, I won't hesitate to help." He pointed to her subordinates. "I need a woman's body to train with. I wonder if your subordinates can assist me with this small matter." He cleared his throat and continued, "Of course, this kind of thing is completely consensual. If anyone is uncomfortable, I won't force them." One of the unfriendly groups stepped forward. "What does he think we are? Is something wrong?" Qin Yuan relented. "I'm sorry I misspoke. If no one wants to help, then But the woman turned her back, took off her towel, and he looked on in confusion as he read her lips. The very woman turned back and said, "That's right. The most important thing when going out is to keep your word. If the boss is lost to you, we will definitely help her fulfill her promise. Ladies, let's show them what Silver Cloud Sky is all about." Several tough women grabbed him and quickly pushed Qin Yuan along. "Come on, follow us over here." "Wait, can I at least take a break?" Su Jang watched with emotion. "You ladies are great, helping me out like this. I'll always remember this loyalty in my heart." She turned to the group of subordinates standing behind her and was surprised to notice the surroundings. "Huh? Where is everyone?" Did they all go with him? One girl ran up and explained, "Boss, I'm heading to the line too. If I don't go now, who knows how long I'll have to wait." She felt her heart was hurt. "Did you really do this for me?" Oh, how fake, forgetting everything when a handsome guy is around. Unable to contain her curiosity, she stepped closer. Voices arguing inside floated out. "I'm waiting for you. This is your 4th time now. You brought this on yourself for being so self-righteous." Su Jang outside also wanted to join them, but thought, no, a boss must maintain their status, yet his pride held him back. A few sounds echoed and the hatch opened. A female subordinate, covering her body, said, "Boss, that guy is definitely not simple." After walking a bit, Su Jang quickly pulled her back. "Huh? Where did the tattoo on your back go? Those big letters?" Her face lit up with sweetness. Qin Young Master believed those tattoos were bad for the body, so he used his internal energy to erase them. However, he drew a different mark for us. She lifted her veil. "Here, look, this is proof of our efforts for the boss." Oh, seeing what Qin Yuan had inked on the subordinates, she blushed and burst through the door, shouting, "Hey, what have you done to my lovely subordinates?" The captivated followers lay on the ground, calling out, "Big sis." Qin Yuan finished putting on her clothes and approached. "There you are. I was just thanking them for their help." After absorbing this power, the chances of defeating Xia Yi Dao would increase a bit. As she walked past, a tailor whispered from behind her, "Do you want me to mark you like them?" Su Jang replied coyly, "I'm the boss. If I want that, it'll definitely be harder than for them." "Don't worry," Qin Yuan said with a grin. Suddenly, the underground room's door burst open violently, breaking the spell surrounding Qin Yuan. Lu Chunyu stepped in, cracking her knuckles. Well, I've been waiting outside for half the day while you're here having fun. I won't let this slide." Then the sounds of their bickering echoed throughout Yuchang. "Wait, let me explain. Cut the nonsense. Go, guy. Please, no." "Ah, big sis saved me." A notification popped up, unlocking character card Lu Chunyu. Lu Chunyu, 5-star rank, bonus for attacking the opposite sex, effect increases by 30%. An hour later, in Su Jiang's living room, "I can't believe that legend is actually true. The heavenly descent dashing man really exists." Qin Yuan, with a confident but battered face, said, "That's right. The reason I want to defeat Xia Yi Dao is to break the seal that binds men." Interesting. In other words, Qin Yuan not only managed to break the first seal that she held. Furthermore, she's willingly helping. Isn't she betraying women by doing that? Lu Chunyu was resolute in his path. "I just want to bring this world back to its original course. If you choose to become our enemy, I won't hold back." Su Jang didn't see it that way. What benefit is there in being your enemy? I'm a businessman, so if you agree to my terms, I could even collaborate with both of you. Lu Chunyu asked further, "Aren't you afraid of being labeled a traitor if you do that?" Su Jang replied, "That's just hearsay. All I want are profits." Qin Yuan inquired about the cost. "Since we've moved to business, let's be straightforward. What do you want from us?" Su Jang continued, "I have worked hard all this time to defeat Xia Yi Dao and become the city lord. But no matter how hard I try, I can't land even a single blow on her. I'm willing to use all my resources to help you both through the tournament as a reward. I want the position of city lord." Qin Yuan immediately agreed, "Of course, no problem at all. After all, we don't have the ability to be the city lord. The position of city lord should be yours, and the rights should be yours as well." She continued, "Then I have another personal request. Although I don't like being abused, you should give it a try." Su Jang then took off her shirt to reveal her back, saying, "I want you to carve the emblem on my back to cover up these scars." 3 days later, a crowd of women gathered outside the city lord's manor waiting. The lord of the city has arrived. After the loud announcement, a woman holding a smoking pipe appeared at the city gates. Xia Yi Dao began the ceremony. "Today is the contest for the position of city lord, held once a year. I look forward to selecting a strong individual among you to challenge me, though defeating me is likely impossible." She smiled confidently, but suddenly a voice rang out from the crowd, saying that isn't good. "Your unbeaten record will end today." Qin Yuan dramatically threw off his coat and said, "This matter will be handled by me." Qin Yuan will complete the task. The participants were astonished and started to talk among themselves. How can a man participate in the martial arts competition? Is there some kind of mistake? Moreover, he claims he wants to defeat the city lord. What a boastful talker. Yi Dao glanced at Qin Yuan and snorted. Then she grabbed her king long knife and leaped down. With a thud, she landed right in front of Qin Yuan without saying a word, swinging her blade toward his neck. The great knife swung down, stopping just short of slicing him. Qin Yuan remained unfazed. Yi Dao took note of his calm demeanor and murmured, "Humph, I admire your courage. You actually didn't dodge or flinch. This kid has a bit of guts." He responded coolly, "The city lord's strike wasn't intended to kill, so why should I dodge?" But inside, he was panicking. What of the world? I couldn't even react. Yi Dao, like a cosmic prophet, declared, "If I'm not mistaken, you must be the man who defeated Lu Chunyu." What a pity, though. I'm not like that weakling. I won't show any. Lu Chunyu, with her fiery temper, jumped in and shouted, Yi Dao, who do you call weak? If you've got the guts, come fight me." Yi Dao scoffed and immediately refused, saying, "I am the dignified city lord. Why would I fight a bandit leader like you? If you want to challenge me, go sign up for a competition." Qin Yuan stepped forward to advise, "Don't act rashly. If you want to participate, it could lead to an internal conflict among us. It will only make things harder. Please, boss, just hold on for a bit." Yi Dao quickly used a provoking tactic, sneering, "What a shame. Not only did you lose to a man, getting so mad that you lost your seal, but you also want to collaborate with him. It's truly embarrassing for a woman." Lu Chunyu wouldn't back down and shot back, "No, I'm simply changing my previous misconception that men and women are unequal." The people behind them began to whisper, "Did I hear that right? How can these weak men possibly be seen as equals to us?" Yi Dao laughed coldly and turned to leave, throwing out a challenge. "If that's the case, let's see your determination. If you really can stand in front of me like a prize, I'll give you the best move I know." I implied, "Ah!" echoed in the air, making the tension even thicker. The announcer explained the rules of the competition. "Okay, everyone, please get ready. The match is about to begin. Due to the high number of contestants, 8 people will qualify for the finals after going through team rounds, with each team consisting of around 30 people." Qin Yuan looked ahead, feeling overwhelmed. Although it was supposed to be a team competition, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was the target. Countless eyes were fixed on him. Yi Dao stood on the platform, observing with disdain. As expected, if he can't even handle these low-ranking soldiers, he has no right to challenge our city lord. Some individuals stepped forward, looking to take care of Qin Yuan. "Weren't you just very arrogant? Come on, we'll make sure to take good care of you." The men weren't worthy of standing on the same platform as them. He wasn't intimidated, drawing his sword. "Ladies, it would be better if you didn't get in my way." 2 went and charged forward. "Stop talking. Let's go. First, we'll get rid of this annoying brat." The 2 hadn't even made it there yet when Qin Yuan swiftly sliced through both of them. He turned around dramatically, performing a move called undressing with a knife, showcasing the familiar scene of clothes disintegrating, including my own outfit. Oh no, but this scene was completely cut from the novel, so brothers, please understand. Lu Chunyu below felt a bit embarrassed. It was clear he was using this move, but why did it seem like he was getting more skilled at it each day? Even Yi Dao above couldn't help but feel a bit flustered. Despite the quick motions and extraordinary sword skills, this technique was just too strange. Mai and Chun Lai below were horrified. What kind of swordplay is that? It's terrifying. Could he really mean? Qin Yuan charged into the group of women like a wolf, undressing with a knife. Move number 3. With 2 swift strikes, 2 outfits are gone in an instant. We've already reached move 17, the 17th move, Kukun Sing. And now for the final move, the 36th move, Tianxia Wu Yi. Whoever came up with this sword technique, I need to learn from them. The women, now with their clothes torn, were covering their sensitive areas and shouting. What kind of despicable sword technique is this? How awful. I'm so embarrassed. I don't want to fight anymore. I want to forfeit my match. Right, I want to forfeit too. The judge, caught off guard, proclaimed, since all the contestants have given up, I declare Qin Yuan the winner of this match. He turned to the audience, creating a stir. As long as it's about clothing, even a god could show you what I can do. The judge felt embarrassed for him upon hearing that. Please don't disgrace yourself by saying such shameless words. 8 contestants had been selected, and the knockout round was about to begin. In the first round, 2 competitors were invited onto the stage. The host introduced the 2 participants, the only male in the competition, Qin Yuan, and Wan Ling-er, a disciple of the soul cultivation sect. She spoke first. I saw your last match where you used underhanded techniques to force your opponent to give up. Qin Yuan was not one to back down easily. If you know my tactics, why not just admit defeat now? Otherwise, your lovely outfit might get ruined. Wan Ling responded while gathering her energy. Your tactics are completely useless against me. With that, a Linghu talisman appeared. Instantly, a tiger shot out from the talisman, charging toward Qin Yuan. He quickly jumped up to dodge. All of her techniques were quite interesting. Did she really think they could defeat him? Wan Ling pulled out another talisman. Humph, this is just an appetizer. Come out. Suddenly, a fierce wolf appeared behind him, lunging straight at Qin Yuan. At that moment, he realized it had been there the whole time. With a swift motion, the wolf clawed at Qin Yuan's shoulder, causing blood to spray out. With her spirit beast protection, Wan Ling felt completely confident. Your dirty tricks can strip others of their clothing, but they're useless against my spirit beast. He stood there confidently and replied, what you say makes perfect sense, but I just need to finish this duel with you. Qin Yuan boldly charged forward and pulled out 2 talismans, commanding her 2 beasts. Spirit Wolf, Spirit Tiger, block his moves and don't let him get close. The Spirit Wolf charged in and he bent down to dodge. The Spirit Tiger advanced toward him, but he sidestepped and slid away. Seiya Yi Dao, observing from above, assessed, he's very fast and has rich combat experience, but unfortunately, as Qin Yuan slipped past the 2 skills, she moved closer to Wan Ling. All right then. But Wan Ling just smiled mockingly, her eyes filled with disdain. You're so naive. She summoned another spirit beast, the spiritual crane bodyguard. Qin Yuan tried to attack, but as soon as he made contact with the spiritual crane, he was instantly knocked back and sent flying. On the wall, Seiya Yi Dao had already realized the outcome. She turned away, no longer interested in watching. No need to watch anymore. The result of this match has already been decided. After all, a man is just a man. No matter how great the performance, it's just like a clown. In the arena, Wan Ling looked at Qin Yuan with a victorious expression, smirking as she said, though I'm the only disciple of the soul cultivation sect, I can control 3 spirit beasts at once. You don't have a chance to win, so just surrender gracefully. Qin Yuan slowly wiped the blood from his face, his gaze steady as he stood up. He smiled faintly. Oh, so you only have 3? It seems like you've played all your cards, but I've thought of a way to counter it. In Qin Yuan's mind, the system chimed in with a notification. Item Exchange Center. System displays. Sissy Pistol. Further details appeared. Effect. Can fire special bullets. Targets hit will not be harmed, but will transform into females. Note, the basic version can only feminize animals. Please recharge to use additional features. Qin Yuan picked up his gun, pulled the trigger, aimed carefully, and squeezed the trigger. Whiz! 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 3 bullets shot out, sparks flying from the muzzle. 3 spirit beasts next to Wan Ling fell to the ground. She quickly covered her face and coldly said, useless. They are all spiritual entities. Physical attacks can't hurt them. Qin Yuan calmly replied, oh really? Do you want to turn around and check? Wan Ling turned around and immediately gasped in surprise. What? How can this be? Ling Hu and Ling Lang had transformed into women. A few onlookers whispered, wow, they're gorgeous, a real treat for the eyes. Wan Ling gaze suddenly landed on the spiritual crane. She shouted in panic, spiritual crane, how could you two? Indeed, this spiritual crane was even more beautiful than the other 2. Qin Yuan drew his blade, looking at Wan Ling with confidence. As I said before, as long as it's a woman, no matter what, I can tear off your clothes to show you. Swish! Swish! 2 flashes of the blade tore through, leaving Ling Lang and Ling Hu with tattered clothing, crying out in distress. Finally, he turned his attention to the spiritual crane. The spiritual crane trembled slightly, while Wan Ling filled with fear, hugged herself, trying to hide her unease. She rushed forward, desperately trying to salvage the situation, and shouted, it's okay. Even so, this man is no match for you. My spirit beasts keep fighting. The spirit beasts couldn't withstand the embarrassment and began to disappear one by one. Wan Ling panicked and shouted, spirit beasts, listen to me. Please, please don't leave. Why aren't you obeying my orders? Qin Yuan frowned and reprimanded her. Spirit beasts have their dignity too. You ignore their feelings and expect them to keep obeying your commands and fight. With that attitude, do you really have the right to be their master? Wan Ling looked confused, both shocked and scared, and asked, what do you mean? Qin Yuan spoke plainly, without mincing words. You no longer have any spirit beasts, so I won't hold back. She was terrified and quickly crossed her arms over her chest, stammering, Don't ruin my clothes. I don't want that. Qin Yuan smirked and replied calmly, if you don't want to feel embarrassed in public, that's possible, but you have to agree to one small condition first. Wan Ling looked at him hesitantly and asked, what? What's your condition? Qin Yuan moved closer and whispered in her ear. After today's competition ends, she gasped, her face turning red. After a moment's hesitation, Wanlinger reluctantly nodded. I understand. I agree, okay? Qin Yuan nodded in satisfaction. That's settled then. He immediately turned and called out loudly. Hey, referee, my opponent has surrendered, so why haven't you announced the results yet? The referee, looking serious, declared. I announced that the winner of this match is Qin Yuan. As Xie Yi Dao was about to leave, she paused, surprised by what she heard. She turned around, her eyes filled with astonishment. That guy actually won. The audience watching the match was even more shocked than she was. How is this possible? He really won. A man defeating a woman, it's unbelievable. This can't be real, right? As Qin Yuan walked down, Lu Chunyu couldn't help but ask, what did you just say to the female cultivator from the soul cultivation sect? He flashed a bright smile, one that looked like an ad for whitening toothpaste. It was just a fair deal. Anyway, don't you want to celebrate my first victory? She frowned. The next opponent will be even stronger. Using such underhanded tactics, do you really think you can win in the end? With that confident expression still on his face, Qin Yuan reassured her, don't worry. Where there's a will, there's a way. My undressing knife is unbeatable. An hour later, the next round of the tournament was about to begin. Qin Yuan sighed in frustration. Damn it, they're targeting me now. In this duel, one side featured a powerful and relentless fighter, the steel-hearted woman Jin Gang. On the other side was Qin Yuan, who had won through sheer luck. Qin Yuan was furious and turned to shout at the referee. Why is the victory for that side so praised while mine is just luck? And how can you even claim that the person in that armor is a woman? It's clearly not a female suit of armor. Jin Gang immediately shot back. This is a female suit of armor. She pointed to the skirt armor and added, look at the skirt. Qin Yuan was outraged, feeling like he was encountering someone more shameless than himself. He could only sigh, lamenting, are you kidding me? Jin Gang aimed her sword at him, teasing, my armor is unmatched in strength. Your dirty tricks of tearing clothes to defeat your opponent won't work on me. Qin Yuan smirked and charged forward to seize the advantage. The one I just defeated said the same thing. Clang! Qin Yuan quickly attacked, but suddenly, the armor sparked. Boom! A loud explosion rang out. The spot he had just struck blew up, leaving his face twisted as if he had eaten a fly. He staggered back, sweat pouring down his forehead, grinding his teeth as he muttered, Humph, this doesn't seem like ordinary armor. Without giving him a moment to rest, Jin Gang swung her sword at him. Boom! A massive explosion like that of a grenade erupted, sending debris flying everywhere and shrouding the area in dust. Qin Yuan was jolted by the force, thrown into the air, and fell to the ground amid the smoke. He landed on the ground, fuming as he shouted, This is terrible. This armor is so troublesome. Jin Gang stood proudly under the sunlight, declaring, That's to be expected. My armor is impervious to weapons and immune to fire and water. Qin Yuan whispered to himself while thinking of a way to counter. Impervious to fire and water. An idea suddenly flashed in his mind. Smirking with satisfaction, he thought, I've got it. Let's see how you handle this. Jin Gang swung his sword, confidently saying, You won't be able to hit me. Qin Yuan cupped his hands together, trying out a new technique. 6 Yang Fire Palm. But it seemed ineffective. He continued to dodge attacks while striking out with his palm, and Jin Gang laughed loudly. All your efforts are futile. Qin Yuan didn't give up. He gathered all his energy into his hands, gritting his teeth as he said, This isn't over yet. Jin Gang began to feel uneasy and took a step back, fear creeping into his voice as he shouted, What? What are you doing? Qin Yuan replied calmly, his gaze sharp. Even though I can't directly harm a woman, I can heat up your armor. If you don't get out of it, you might end up as roasted fish. The temperature kept rising, transferring into the armor. Jin Gang finally exclaimed, It's hot. Too hot. Boom. The armor shattered, sending heat and pieces flying everywhere. The person inside the armor emerged. It was a beautiful girl, panting heavily as she murmured, It's hot. Too hot. A bucket of water was poured down to help cool her off. The one pouring the water was Qin Yuan. Oh, I didn't expect such a beauty hidden inside that armor. He laughed mischievously. But I think you should surrender quickly. Otherwise, I believe you're well aware of what might happen to that little outfit you're wearing, right? She lowered her head, feeling defeated. I know, I've lost, I surrender. The referee announced the results. Qin Yuan won. Next was the final elimination match. After a half-watch break, it would begin. Qin Yuan declined the break and made a different request. I don't need a break. Let's proceed to the final match. I'm in a hurry to get back for dinner. I agree, Su Jang said calmly as he walked forward. For this duel, I don't want to wait any longer. Lord City Master, I hope you don't mind. She glanced at Xia Yi Dao, awaiting a response. Xia Yi Dao happily agreed right away. Su Jang, as expected, you are in the finals. Excellent. Let's see who among you can stand before me. With Xia Yi Dao's approval, Su Jang turned to Qin Yuan. I didn't think you could actually hold out until the finals. I truly didn't underestimate you. Qin Yuan expressed his guess. So, are you planning to fight me again to see if I'm qualified to complete our deal? But she was not what Qin Yuan expected. No, I fought all the way to the finals just to clear the path for you. I believe in you. You are the one who can defeat the city lord. She raised her hand to forfeit her qualification, saying, I, Su Jang, give up. Xia Yi Dao replied with a playful smile, Good, that's great. I'm more and more interested in you. Qin Yuan, tomorrow you will be my challenger. Until then, enjoy your last night as much as you can. That afternoon in Yuchang with Su Jang, Qin Yuan sat in his room looking at the door. If the city lord has decreed that I enjoy my final night, then I'll leave it to you two defeated subordinates. This gray mountain was too blurry, and this shadow wasn't hidden. Jin Gang was still dissatisfied with today's match. Losing to you today was just bad luck. A man simply can't hurt me. He hinted with a smirk, if you can't hurt me, then let's see what happens today. Turn around. She had no choice but to obediently comply and turn the shock absorber back. With a loud snap, a clear, crisp sound rang out as the shock absorber bounced playfully. Jin Gang was shocked and turned to look. Hey, what are you trying to do? Qin Yuan explained with amusement. First, let's loosen up your body, shall we? So, does that hurt? She tried to maintain her tough demeanor. Humph, it doesn't really hurt at all. Her mind was filled with questions. Although it wasn't exactly painful, there was a strange sensation when she got hit. Qin Yuan took out 2 slaps and changed his approach. If it doesn't hurt, then let's add a bit of stimulation. After a while of this playful teasing, Qin Yuan asked, how do you feel now? She tightly clamped her legs around his hand and responded stubbornly. A little toy like this is nothing. Seeing that she still wouldn't back down, he pulled out his talisman. A little toy, huh? All right, let me show you something. When she saw the talisman Qin Yuan had taken out, her eyes widened in shock, and she quickly tried to back away. We are young and unyielding. We'll settle this another time. He grabbed her leg and pulled her back. Running away isn't going to be that easy. After being stabbed multiple times, Jin Gang lay submerged in the water. Today I've lost to a man not once, but twice. The system announced the unlocking of the character card Jin Gang. Jin Gang, a 4-star character, received a bonus that enhances defense by 20%. At this moment, Jin Gang was no longer just Jin Gang. How could he accept defeat? I admit defeat, just let me rest. Qin Yuan, however, didn't seem satisfied. I still prefer the proud and untamed look you had earlier, but I'm not done having my fun. My next target is Wanlinger, so let's switch to you. She anxiously searched for a reason to escape. My body isn't as flexible as hers. He revealed a cunning smile, gripping tightly without letting go. Remember, you agreed to fulfill my request earlier. Are you really going to back out now? While the two were in a tug of war, a thick mist of white smoke surrounded her. What is this?